Hey peeps, welcome back. I am talking today about the full moon this month for June and the summer solstice coming up. So if that sounds like something that's interesting to you, why don't you hit the subscribe button, pull up a seat, and we'll get right into it. Also, I might add, hit the bell so that you get notified when I have new videos. It doesn't seem to work for everybody, but it works for some people. Anyway, so yes, here we go. Full moon is on the 14th, and it is the Faerie Moon in my tradition. It is also going to be in Sagittarius, which is a lot of fiery energy. And then the summer solstice is on June 21st. And I'm not sure what sign that's going to be in. But however, it will be the culmination of the waxing year and the beginning of the waning year. Now, if you know anything about magical technique or studies, you'll know the year is divided into two halves: the waning year, which is from the summer solstice to winter solstice, and the waxing year, which is from the winter solstice to the summer solstice. The waxing year, the light grows, the land renews itself, things blossom out, the harvest is sown and grows to its peak. And the waning year is when we actually bring the harvest in, and it's when the earth goes fallow and barren, at least in the more moderate lands. I'm talking about traditions who are more Northern European, because obviously it's different in other parts of the world. You know, if you have a climate that pretty much stays the same all year, you're going to celebrate differently, because this is all based on the cycles of the earth. And there are different cycles of the earth depending on where you live. So for the full moon, since the full moon is a good time to actually bring to culmination projects that you've been working on, I will probably be doing a closure to the spell that I started last full moon, which was a revamping of my work planning system for the year, of my schedule for the year, and a focus on renewing my focus on my health for the year. And by closing it, I don't mean stopping it, I mean sort of sealing it, solidifying. That's a good word. Solidifying the work I'm doing on my health and my new plans for the rest of the year and part of next year in terms of my writing. Full moon is always a good time to expand. It's an expansive time. It's when the energy is at its greatest. And so when we go into that, it's a good time to not necessarily begin new projects, but to invigorate the projects you've been working on. Now, as far as the summer solstice coming up, the summer solstice in our tradition, we follow the oak and holly king traditions. And for that, during the year, the oak or sun king rules half the year, and the holly king rules the other half of the year. The goddess is cyclic. She rules all year round. The god changes. He dies, he goes into the underworld, he comes out again, he grows, he comes to its height, and then he dies again. And this is seen through the oak and holly king tradition, where two brothers, who are really two parts of the god, the light and dark. Holly king rules over the waning half of the year. Oak or sun lord rules over the waxing half of the year. On the summer solstice, it is the peak of the sun lord's energy. He is at his greatest as the sun is at its peak for the year. And his brother strikes him down. They battle twice a year. The holly king wins. He rises and rules over the next 6 months. During winter solstice, they battle again. The Sun King wins. He rises and rules over the next 6 months. So it's a cyclic tradition. Hello, Miss Kiersey. Oh, really? You need to have some input on this, huh? Miss Kiersey is here to help me with the video today. Isn't she pretty? Isn't she big? 9 months old. She and her sister are large, and they are sweet little balls of fluff. So yes, we will be celebrating that. And also I find summer solstice to be, oh, I see some, oh, there's rainbows going around my room. I've got some things hanging in the window. So if you see some like lights floating around the room, no, sadly, it's probably not the Fae. It is, no, don't shoot on my ring. It is rainbows, filtering off the prisms. So my name for the full moon in June is Faerie Moon. My tradition sees it that way because the Fae are at their closest to our realm. Now they're always in and out of our realm, but the ability to touch their realm is closer during the summer solstice and at times during Beltane and winter solstice as well. Beltane, not quite as much, although I do find pixies tend to go crazy and pixies can be really annoying. My writing about them as annoying little species is not without my own observation of what they could do. So for summer solstice this year, yes, we'll be celebrating the fall of the Oak King, the rise of the Holly. I will also be doing some magic to strengthen my focus on my health and my career and the direction I'm taking it in. And on the full moon, I will be doing that as well. And I'd like to say something here too. I'd like to I'm putting in a plug for those pagans and witches who are disabled, who live with disabilities, who maybe can't go outside as much. I can't go outside much because of the pollen. It really triggers reactions. I can't go stand in the sunlight because it triggers reactions. That doesn't mean you aren't a proper witch or pagan. Yes, it is nice to be able to take walks out in the woods, and it is nice to be able to go camping. But my husband can't go camping unless we have an RV, and we don't. I'd like to, but I can't afford one yet. He can't go camping. He can't get down in a tent. And that makes him no less of a proper pagan than anybody else. Also, a number of pagans and witches are elderly, you know. Some of us are getting up there. I've been in the craft for over 40 years. I'm 61 now. And while I may not totally look 61, fact is I am. And it affects my body, you know. And so I implore you to not believe that if you can't get around, if you can't get outside all the time, if you can't go sit under a tree by a babbling brook, that you aren't or can't be a proper pagan or witch. The energies come in our houses. You can listen to a water video like a running stream on YouTube, and it will be just as magical in many ways as if you were sitting by it. We need to learn that adapting is vital. If you do not adapt, you cannot thrive. You know, that which cannot adapt or evolve does not thrive. And when our bodies change, when we have issues that prevent us from doing certain things, like running around naked under the moonlight. Yes, I used to do that. You know, we have to adapt. We have to adapt our systems. So, my friends, do not despair. If you are interested in the magical arts, if you are interested in being pagan, there's no rule saying you can't be, because you can't either get to a stream because you live in the middle of the city and don't have a car, or because you can't get to a stream because you can't actually walk over uneven grass and down a mountain to it. If you can get to one, if there are ways you can, that's wonderful. If you can't, that doesn't mean you can't experience magic and the natural world. There are so many options now today that allow us to go places virtually. And honestly, with reality as mutable as it is, if you're watching a video of a place, hell, work on your meditation and project yourself there in your astral form. There's nothing saying you can't. I'm off on a diatribe, but that's me. I often get that way. So I hope you have a wonderful full moon. I hope you have a wonderful summer solstice this year. What are some of your traditions? What do you do? What do you like to do? Are you a solitary practitioner? Are you new? Have you been in the craft quite a while, like I have? Just realized I had fuzz on my boob. Well, on my dress, thanks to Kiersey. Anyway, I just wanted to leave those thoughts for you about our upcoming Sabbath and upcoming Esbat. Esbats, by the way, are full moon traditions and practices, and Sabbats are our high holy days, of which there are 8 per year. If people are interested, I think I might make a series on the Sabbats and talk more in depth about each one. If you are interested, leave me a note. And so I think that's about it for now. Have a great day. Have a wonderful week, and I will see you next week. Bye.